somber day in Wisconsin sports. I don't know your guys' feelings about that. I know our resident Cubs fan, Jalen, over here is pretty excited. Welcome to Hawk Talk. It feels like a funeral, a very angry funeral. My name's Sam, your host on the Monday show here on WSCW Whitewater, 91.7 The Edge. You got Jalen, Ryan, Adam, Nazir, and Keys today. Very baseball-oriented show. The free agency period officially started today. We'll go over a lot of that, get some early predictions for some of the biggest names in the game, previewing just guys like Shohei Ohtani. There's dynamic talent. Blake Snell should be winning the Cy Young this year for the Padres. He's also going to be on a new team potentially next year. Matt Chapman's going to be on the move. A lot of different guys on the move. Let's get right into it here with our Obscure Sports segment. First things first. Talking about USA Pickleball. The USA Pickleball National Championships start today. Gentlemen, what were we finding about pickleball this afternoon? Just a reminder for listeners at home, pickleball is the fastest growing sport in North America right now, especially among older demographics, but younger people are starting to get into pickleball as well. Anyone find anything here?
I found that they can make about $100,000 a year doing it professionally. It's like $54.39 an hour.
Which isn't bad. That's really not bad for a small growing sport. But they're starting to get there's tournament rankings now. USA National Championship going on today. There's ways to it's like a lot like the PBA, Professional Bowlers Association, where it's pay to enter, really. So you got to invest in order to make money out of it. I really like pickleball.
I do too.
I think pickleball's a fun sport. It just gets annoying when I go to my local YMCA and there's a lot of people playing in their pickleball league at about 8 a.m. and I want to go hoop for a cool down, just go back and forth up the court, or if I got some buds there, go run some threes.
Right.
They take up all the courts because they're playing pickleball.
It does take up some space.
That's the only thing that upsets me about it, but I think it's a fun sport. Anyone else thoughts?
I like it. I think it's fun. Like you said, there are a lot more people playing it, but there are for sure a lot more of the levels to it too. My aunt and uncle were ranked out in Arizona as a duo that were playing it, so they introduced it to me when I was out there for spring break a few years ago. So it's pretty fun, and they actually showed me a video of an up-and-comer, but right now for the side with the with all the girls, she is only 16 years old, and she is ranked number 1 right now for the doubles. So I remember hearing about her when she was younger, too. So
yeah, this is a Coco Gauff type thing going on right now, where you're 15 years old and you just casually cruise through Wimbledon.
Yeah. It's really fast sport, too.
Keys, I know you talked about previously you're a tennis player. Have you ever dabbled into pickleball as well?
I haven't, but, it's still cool. It's a lot of balls being played at the net, so a lot of volleying going on, and
it is a very short court. That's what I've noticed. You're playing with a wiffle ball type ball and tiny paddles. It's almost like a glorified ping pong paddle. I'm more of a table tennis guy myself. I kind of go to the smallest level. I love table tennis. But yeah, pickleball played on a lot smaller court. Pickleball doubles just confuses me, because I almost feel like you're never going to get the ball past anybody, or you're going to get it to bounce twice.
I feel like you can. I don't know. I feel like doubles makes... it doesn't make sense, really, but, I can see how it works. When you watch it, I feel like you can easily just get it off, really fast. I don't know. I'm not completely into pickleball.
It's very fast-paced from what I've seen, because it is so
There's so
close.
many plays that they run, too.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
you don't even know about.
That's crazy,
yeah.
Right? Because you think it's just, narrowed down tennis, but it's not. Yeah. It's a completely different thing. And it's amazing to see that it's the fastest growing sport in North America. It's really gaining popularity right now. Yeah. Ryan, you look like you got something to say here.
Yeah, I think pickleball is very fun. I'm surprised it's the fastest growing sport, and I'm surprised it's the fastest growing sport in America right now. So
when I was doing some research on pickleball this morning, I found this article that was written yesterday at Yahoo.com, Yahoo Finance specifically, talking about, it gives a stat for 48.3 million adult Americans, which is nearly 19% of the U.S. population has played pickleball at least once in the last year and a half. But on top of that, there are local HOAs, homeowners associations, who are concerned about the noise created by pickleball.
That's crazy.
Really?
Are you serious?
That's a new one.
I can't believe that.
That's kind of wild.
I can't. You're playing with a plastic paddle and
say,
a
that's the
plastic
quietest-
ball.
right.
You have a set aside court. I mean, I guess you have to have something to complain about. I don't know,
They
Nancy.
must.
Like, sorry, people enjoy themselves. That's just the funniest thing to me. And then one of the biggest media outlets in the country, in Yahoo, is going to just drop this story and make it a big deal. Speaking of big deals, Craig Counsell is a Cub. Craig Counsell
Heartbreaking.
is I want to walk out of this room so bad.
I called it, man.
Nazir, I do blame you for this. I do blame you for
I
this.
did count it. I called it this morning. I
In
did.
case you've been living under a rock, former Brewers infielder and manager Craig Counsell has been hired by the Chicago Cubs to be their manager for the next 5 years. 5 years, $40 million contract. That's $8 million annually, which is the highest paid managerial contract in terms of total overall value in MLB history.
I love it.
What the heck? Where did this come from, first off?
Well, the Brewers weren't paying him, so he was going to leave regardless. He was either going to go to the Astros,
I think they offered him 5, didn't they?
Five and a half.
5.5.
5.5
but
for 6
to
years.
not match that is kind of crazy. You know, his
Yeah.
Counsell's huge for that team, but I think he was either going to be an Astro. I said this earlier. I thought he was going to be an Astro, a Cub, or maybe like you said, you thought he was going to be a Diamondback, but
Yeah.
because he was a former player and all or whatever.
Exactly. The Astros make sense. Tell me why you thought Astros.
But, they don't have a manager, do they? I don't.
No,
Yeah, that's-
no more. Dusty Baker.
Right. So I felt like okay, Astros made playoffs and made it kind of far. I mean I wouldn't see why it's a bad deal for him to be on the Astros. I mean he can make them a lot better, maybe have them go farther than what they did this year when they played the Rangers. But yeah, I knew he wasn't going to be Diamondbacks, but I thought it was perfect position was the Cubs. And as soon as I said it, he was a Cub like 5 minutes later.
I'll get into that in a second. I want everyone else to kind of speak their piece first because I have a fat rant ready to
ahead.
go
Go ahead.
about this. I'm not going to go ahead right now. I want everyone else to kind of chip in first because
Yeah.
if I start this rant, I will not stop.
Okay, that's fair.
But I do like the Astros idea simply
it's a great
because
idea.
simply because they got to get back over the hump.
Exactly.
They got Dusty Baker his first ever World Series in
Exactly.
like 30 years of management.
I thought he was perfect for that role. But,
Exactly,
if he
and
went to the
there's
Cubs, I guess.
all the talent in the world on that roster still. You can say what you want about the cheating scandal. That's over now.
Yeah.
That's been 5-7 years out now,
Correct.
which is insane to think about as well, by the way. But this just makes me feel old. But yeah, cheating scandal aside, I mean, this is a perfect opportunity for Craig Counsell and the Astros if they really want to get back over the hump.
Yeah.
I said Diamondbacks because former player for them, won a World Series there. He was nearly it's the second longest tenured team
Yeah.
for him. The Brewers are now first in 2 separate stints, but the Diamondbacks, he was there for 4 to 5 years. He played very well. That's where his, I guess you could call it a peak, was. And Torey Lovullo wasn't under contract. He was under contract for
He
one
was,
more
yeah.
year. He got an extension today, as Jalen told us before the show. He got an extension today. I thought that they were going to bump Lovullo to like a front office spot.
See, I think Counsell could have been either the other two teams I was thinking of were the Mets or the Guardians, but they already hired, I think. So
Yeah, and that all happened today too.
exactly. So
That all happened today.
It could all been weird if he could have went to the Mets. That would have been kind of. I think that's been pretty good. But
Jalen, you're the Cubs fan here. What is going through your mind when you see this come across your Twitter space that Craig Counsell's your manager now?
At first, I thought it was a joke. I was like, man, they trolling. But when I saw that Jeff Passan and then ESPN came out, originally my mom actually said, did you hear the news? I was like, no, I saw the news was only the Gold Glovers we had and Bellinger opted out of his contract. And then, like a few minutes later, ESPN drops saying that Craig Counsell is now the manager of the Cubs. I'm just like, well, Milwaukee's about to be heated all day and all week. But, I mean, I'm all right with it. But at the same time, it's like he didn't really, take them past the first round all the way. But I do like his development that he had with younger players and getting guys into being guys, and he turned a lot of random or probably tool guys or platoon guys into major league starters. So I'm just excited to see what he does with our prospects too.
And he's gonna have a lot more talent, ideally, to deal with, simply because the Cubs have a lot more money than Milwaukee does, being in a larger market. So that's an important thing to bring up too. The playoff success, you brought that up a little bit. The fact that he didn't really do much with them. He got them to, the furthest they got was Game 7 of the NLCS. They're about 12 outs away from making it to the World Series. That year, you think about it this way, that was just a competition to see who was going to get squashed by the Red Sox.
Right.
But still, didn't make a World Series, only made it to the NLCS once. Got squashed by Atlanta. The Nationals won. Trent Grisham, it wasn't your fault, buddy, but besides the point, lost in the Nationals in the wild card round. 2020, let's not count. That season never happened. 21, play the Braves. And your batters, you got to find a way to get your batters to hit, right?
True.
The pitching was phenomenal that series. The hitters just couldn't do their dang job. And then this year, same thing goes. You leave all these runners on base. I want to say that they left 25 guys on base over 2 games, which is horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of not that Craig Counsell's a bad coach,
Right.
but it's a matter of who did he have to deal with? These guys, when you're coming from a team, you're managing a team that hits roughly 225 to 230 as a team, and you still win your division? If I'm a Cubs fan, I'm jumping for joy here.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. What they missed the playoffs by barely this year.
Yeah, we missed
Barely.
about a half
Craig
game.
Counsell's your manager. You're in the NLCS with that team.
Absolutely. I agree.
NLCS.
Yeah, I am also a Cubs fan,
Okay.
and I just think I think hiring Craig Counsell is huge. It's huge for the Cubs because you have a guy who has a lot of managing experience, a lot of baseball experience, managing a baseball team, and then he spent 9 seasons with the Brewers. And then I hate to see David Ross go, but I think he's a very he's a very key person to the city of Chicago. But I just think he didn't. I don't think I don't think David Ross managed the Cubs that well, because what happened you were the second wild card, and then you blew it the last week. So I just think letting David Ross go was a good idea.
I would agree with you. I wouldn't hate to see him go. I'd love to watch him go if I'm a Cubs fan, especially when I'm getting Craig Counsell. Especially when I'm getting arguably the best manager in baseball to be my manager.
Yeah.
And to take over for a guy who, David Ross was a clubhouse guy. That's the entire reason why they brought him in, is because he knew the clubhouse, he knew how things operated around there. It was basically, the goal was to recreate Joe Madden.
Right.
Without actually paying Joe Madden.
Yeah.
That was the goal, because Joe Madden had 5 straight winning seasons with the Cubs. He made the playoffs, let's see, 4 out of the 5 years he was there. The 5th year, 84 and 78, they finished 3rd in the division. Correct me if I'm wrong, that was behind the Cardinals and the Brewers. And then 2020 was Dave Ross's first year. Ross, if you take out 2020, never made the playoffs. Best season was 4 above 500. You include 2020, it was 8 above 500 in a sprint, an absolute sprint of a season.
Yeah.
I look at what Craig Counsell has been able to do with a team like Milwaukee, and I'm instantly thinking World Series. The Cubs are instant buyers in free agency this year, and Craig Counsell is going to take them to the promised land again. They're gonna win another ring.
Do you think they're beating the Braves? Because the Braves aren't losing anybody.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
In a 7-game series.
It depends on who they go after in free agency as well, because they're going to have the money to add a few guys. But my goodness, just look at let's pull up this 2020 roster. We're Milwaukee Brewers. Ryan Healy batted 4th in a playoff game.
It's true.
You made the playoffs that year with Ryan Healy batting cleanup.
Yeah.
And now Craig Counsell goes from that team to a better team. A team with a lot more young talent on the way up. A team with a lot of money to spend. They're going to bring back Cody Bellinger. They're in on Ohtani. That's been the narrative since the start of the season.
I was going to get to that.
They're in on Ohtani, and we'll talk about that later with some of this free agency talk. But I think the Cubs, it's World Series or bust in the next 5 seasons.
Wow.
That's how this has to go. That's how they have to operate here. Adam, you haven't said much about this situation yet.
I wasn't excited, but there's always room for growth. I think I saw a thing over the past 10 seasons. Milwaukee was like, we're at the 52% for the winning. We made the playoffs 5 times. Only won one of the playoff series wins, so I was kind of surprised by that, honestly, from 2014 to now. But yeah, I mean, I think he was good, but who knows if there's another guy out there who could just try to rally the troops in a different way. I don't know.
There are some candidates out there. Gabe Kapler is one of them. He's been the Giants manager for the last couple seasons. He's most certainly available. And you want to talk about a guy who's really into analytics, Gabe Kapler is that guy. In terms of other guys, obviously Buck Showalter and David Ross are out there now. From the Cardinals, Oscar Marmol should be available for sure. They don't seem to be looking to keep him. I do kind of like Marmol. I think he could be a decent manager.
I don't like him.
I do.
Yeah.
I do like him. He's another clubhouse guy. He's another player's first manager. It's not like it's different from Kapler. Kapler is very big into analytics. Marmol is not.
You don't like the analytics part though? Like I feel like that's
do, but I
Moneyball,
also
man, Moneyball.
I do, but you also got to think about. I mean, the Brewers have been operating under a Moneyball strategy in the front office ever since their inception. Like they've had to get lucky through drafting guys like Robin Yount, Paul Molitor, Jim Gantner, Cecil Cooper. They get the one big free agent splash or 2 big free agent splashes, some trades as well. Like Raleigh Fingers, Ted Simmons were all trades. Don Sutton in '82 was a trade.
Those are all good like pickups though. Is what
They
I'm trying
were,
to say,
but they're
though.
very short term. Like that's how this Brewers team has tried to build success over its entire history. Look, you look at the late '80s and early '90s, early 2000s, god awful teams.
Rough.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's bad.
26 straight seasons of no playoffs. 2008, they built that team off of drafting. I mean, they've been doing Moneyball since Moneyball was a thing. Like before Moneyball was a thing, arguably, the Brewers have been operating off of those strategies. I'm looking for a guy who doesn't look into analytics that much. Would I mind Gabe Kapler? Absolutely not. I would love to have Gabe
I think
Kapler.
he'd be great.
I think he's an all right manager. He's had some clubhouse struggles with guys like I think it wasn't Seth Corey. It was why do I not remember this guy's name? I use him in the show all the time. He's a decent little pickup. Relief pitcher. I'll find his name again. But there was some issues with clubhouse chemistry that wasn't entirely Gabe Kapler's fault. It was his players being hotheads. But that does kind of concern me, is that there are going to be chemistry issues, maybe a power struggle. Marmol's a player first manager. You look at the Cardinals, they slumped this year. Nothing much about their roster changed.
Yeah, nothing really.
It's just a big fluky season. The Cardinals will be back next year.
Yeah.
If they get rid of Marmol, I'm jumping on that right now.
Oh yeah.
Maybe even just as a stopgap. Maybe it's not the long-term answer, which I honestly don't think either of those guys would be.
Yeah. Better
But-
hope the Cubs don't pick him up. You imagine?
Please, I'd be very upset. We'll just put
They're
it that
making
way.
some moves already. I mean, once that free agency really starts, it's pretty much over.
Keys, with Craig Counsell gone, do the Brewers first build a roster this offseason, or do they find their manager first? What should they focus on?
Need a manager. I mean, I feel like we still got a good team. Okay, so how I feel about the Craig situation, I mean, it sucks, but at the same time, we haven't really progressed as much, and it's like change sometimes hurt, but sometimes change is a good thing, and I feel like our team is strong. It just, something wasn't clicking, and I don't feel like this loss is not as drastic as it feels. It could be.
So, in terms of Brewers free agents this year, you're right that it's largely the same roster coming back. Jesse Winker's a free agent. Carlos Santana is a free agent, but there's already talks about bringing him back. There were negotiations going on during the 5-day exclusive period these past 5 days. Chafin is gone. Eric Lauer is gone. Wade Miley said he wants to come back. The problem is he's going to be 37 years old, and who knows if he can replicate that again. Again, that was the mentality going into 2019 when we didn't bring him back after that season as well. And then goes to show that like we were kind of right about that, where he struggled and was injury prone.
Yeah.
And that was, you got to think about this, that was when he was 32. Now he's going to be 37. So Miley is a toss-up in the air. If the price is right, bring him back for sure. Victor Caratini is a free agent. He's only 30. I'd love to see him come back, especially at the projected salary he's expected to get. $3.1 million is the market value for a backup catcher right now. I wouldn't mind that. And then the rest of the guys, Julio Teheran, Justin Wilson, Darren Ruff. Darren Ruff is kind of tragic. I mean, he's going to be 38 coming up this year. He'll be his age 37, 38 season. He played like 3 games with the Brewers and then out for the season.
Yeah.
I don't know if you give that
happened?
another chance again, simply because of his age, and you could probably do a lot better off with bringing back Carlos Santana, who's going to be the exact same age, a little bit better defensively, better hitter.
You know what I love about this, like this whole little dispute we got going on with council. The games are going to be so intense now.
Oh,
like,
my
Milwaukee
goodness.
versus Chicago is going to be like.
This
Man,
just
fair.
It's when you go to the games. Like I know for a fact I'll see you at the games. Like this is going to be in your story or something. I
oh
already
my
know.
gosh.
Front row seats. It's going to be amazing until like the 7th inning when the Cubs are up 8-0. But
That's going to be the problem.
No,
yes.
that's crazy.
that's true though. I'm not gonna lie.
So I think your argument is valid here, Keys, because the roster is basically set. It's just filling in some gaps. We need a first baseman because I don't know about Rowdy Tellez anymore. I really don't. He really struggled this year, and then the injury bug got him too. I don't know if he's going to be very reliable for much longer. We still have him under contract. He's arbitration eligible. But other than that, and then finding a third baseman, finding some stopgap guys around the middle infield like backups wise, and maybe another starting pitcher. I mean, there's really not much else to do except focus on your coaching staff now. And not is it going to be just the manager that they fill, but it's going to be the whole dugout.
Yeah.
Every single coach is going to be gone.
Yeah.
Now it's rant time. And here's the thing. I hate Wisconsin sports fans now.
Yeah, man.
Today is what tipped it over.
Preach.
Today is what tipped it over simply because, this is, you could argue that this is like the next biggest betrayal in Wisconsin sports history outside of Brett Favre joining the Vikings. Like, granted, it was by route of the New York Jets, but still.
Yeah.
Brett Favre was the Packers franchise quarterback, and now he's playing for a hated rival.
Yeah.
Craig Counsell does the same thing on his own free will.
I feel like this is worse though, dude.
And everyone's freaking out about it.
Yeah, I feel like in this sense, Brett Favre went to the Jets, like you said, so it's a little different. But he went straight to the Cubs, like no hesitation, just went straight to them. Then didn't even try to come to agreement with Milwaukee about,
Yeah, that's crazy.
See, but the thing is, he did.
He-
Because there's no indication that the Cubs were even involved. Now, this could have all been behind closed doors, which I imagine it would be, because the Brewers and the Cubs, too. The Cubs are also very good at this. They're very good at keeping things under wraps.
Yeah, that's true.
They're very tight in that front office. Not even the interns are sharing information. If you're going to get info out of one of those organizations, you better be a beat writer specifically for the team, or you better be from ESPN, because you're not going to get information.
Yeah.
The Brewers did have their chance to bring him back, and they offered $5.5 million annually for 6 years.
They could have matched the $8 million, though, I feel like,
They definitely could have. It's the ownership that's the problem.
Yeah.
And that's part of this rant, too.
That's Wisconsin sports.
Wisconsin sports fans are awful. I've been in denial of it for so long. Everyone on Twitter makes me so upset.
Why do you think I'm a
that-
Chargers fan, man?
I see. The thing is, I'm seeing all these people, all these mutuals I have saying like, "Gosh, dude, as soon as he comes back to Milwaukee, we got to boo him." No, you don't.
He's going to be the most hated man in Milwaukee.
He is
I told
going
you
to
that.
be, and it's very unfortunate. And
very
I honestly
unfortunate.
kind of feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
He went and got the bag. He got what he earned. He deserves to get rewarded like this.
But to the rival
For
team,
taking
no.
the most garbage teams, turning them into playoff contenders, making us all think that we can be good
Yeah.
and we can win a World
He
Series.
does deserve a good team.
He deserves.
He does.
He deserves a ring, and it doesn't deserve to be with us.
Right,
And you
yeah.
want to know why he doesn't deserve to be with us?
'Cause we suck.
Because Mark Ananazio is spending money on baseball cards and English soccer. He doesn't
ridiculous.
spend money on his gosh darn team.
Yep.
He doesn't care about us.
Yeah,
he doesn't care about Craig. If he cared about
He
Craig,
doesn't
he
want to
would have
win.
matched.
He doesn't want to win.
He's got the money. He wants to be just popular enough and just good enough to get butts in seats so that taxes and ticket revenue can pay for all these stupid stadium renovations.
In there, weren't they in talks about like
Relocating.
Relocating. A while ago?
Relocating.
Yeah.
Mark,
so it doesn't
and-
even matter at that
and
point.
the head chairman of the relocation committee for the MLB
Yeah.
for the Oakland Athletics,
Yep.
Mark Ananazio.
Oh well, there you go.
There's your kicker.
There you go. Yeah.
There's your kicker. He doesn't want to. No one wants to be in Milwaukee. Look at what the NBA media is doing to the Bucks right now. Everyone hates Milwaukee. Everyone hates Wisconsin for being so good for so long, especially with the Packers. For as long as they were good, everyone hated the Packers.
That's true.
The Packers were the most popular brand around the world. They're the Yankees of football,
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Everyone hates the Bucks now because the Bucks are so good in a small media market, and they're not making these networks big money.
Yep.
It's the same thing's happening in MLB ownership. The same exact thing is happening in MLB ownership, and it's making fans turn on each other. It's making players start like Corbin Burns today interviewed with Adam McCalvey from the Journal Sentinel. First thing he said when Adam McCalvey asked him like, "What are your thoughts?" He's like, "I'm so happy for him, but it's going to be the most awkward thing in the world, and I'm just shocked."
Yeah.
He's just shocked. I think that's the best way to put this is because people are starting to the veil is starting to be torn on just how bad of an owner Mark Ananazio is, and it's time for him to sell this team. We need to do the exact same thing Oakland was doing for the last year, where you get people to boycott games altogether, and then you get the reverse boycotts where all you do is say, sell the team, stand there quiet, do some protesting. Like this has to happen. Because we've been so good for so long, and the fact that you refuse to spend money and just make us your cash cow is horrible.
Yeah.
There needs to be some kind of governing body above the governing body that tells the governing body, if you're going to own this team, spend your money.
That's the business.
You got to
there, man.
spend money to make
No,
money.
I think it's only Wisconsin
Greedy.
sports. I think we hold on to our wallets a little too tight when it comes to
a little tight is one thing.
Yeah.
And then you get the new ownership group of the Bucks. Jimmy Haslam, what does he have? He's got the money.
Got a lot
He's
of
got a
funds.
deep wallet.
Got a lot
What
of
did that
money.
allow us to do? Get Damian Lillard.
That was the first sign by like a Wisconsin team I felt like in forever.
That and the veil first started getting torn in 2019 in that offseason when reports came out that the Brewers were operating in the red the entire season.
Yeah.
Not only is that Mark is refusing to spend money on his first ownership stake, the Milwaukee Brewers. He was part of the Quicken Loans group with Dan Gilbert for a little while. Dan Gilbert dropped out of ownership. It was all Mark's the principal owner. Not only is he not caring about this to spend money on this team anymore, and he's just spending it on who knows what, like trading cards and English soccer. He owns a team that's hasn't been in Champions League in forever,
Yeah.
like Norwich City or something like that. Not only is he refusing to spend money on us, he doesn't even have the money to spend.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have the money to spend. If the kitchen's too hot, get out, dude.
Yeah.
And that's what it's got to come down to. My rant's over. Let's continue this conversation here. What can we expect the Cubs to do over the next 5 seasons, like playoff-wise, World Series? I mean, first we got to make sure they're making the right moves,
Yeah,
front office-wise. Ryan, I want to get to you on this over here. What do the Cubs have to do first in free agency?
I just think I think the Cubs need to go out to free agency this year and sign another starter or a couple good relievers. I think their pitching was the problem. Their pitching was the problem to end the season, or they need to try to bring the Cubs need to try to bring Bellinger back, which I know he declined his option.
Yes, he did. He did decline, but that's just because he's going to test out the market.
Oh yeah. So the Cubs gonna bring like Bellinger back. They already brought back Kyle Hendricks. So like just go out there, get like a couple pitchers and like and just see like what like guys are like are out there.
Jalen, other in-house Cubs fan here. What do the Cubs got to do first? This is just the first step of many here, but what's the next step? What positions are we looking to fill?
Definitely got to look at pitching first. Obviously, re-sign Bellinger because without Bellinger, you wouldn't be in this situation. But I've been saying it all for the past, I don't know, ever since I got on this show, extend Bellinger. But yeah, you got to really look at the pitching first. I mean, we got a couple prospects down there. We had Jordan Wicks come up here and produce and perform at a high level. Just keep building, keep doing what we're doing for real. I mean, now you got a manager who's really good at what he's doing, really good at what he does in development, at managing in-game decisions, going with his gut, bullpen arms, all that. Everything a manager needs to do, you got a good one. So now you got the opportunity to go spend money and get free agents, and now you got the real opportunity to get free agents here. So really just keep doing what we're doing and just sign some free agents. Draft well.
This is quite a deep free agent class. First things first, let's the average market value for a guy like Clayton Kershaw right now is $37 million for a starting pitcher. The starting pitching market is extremely deep. Let's segue right now into some MLB free agency here. So just looking at some of the projected top earners in free agency, Clayton Kershaw's up there, Aaron Nola's up there, and Kershaw, remember, is going to be on a one-year deal. He's going to be on 1 year. He's coming off an injury. It's going to be 1 year type thing. Aaron Nola, I can see Aaron Nola getting anywhere between 5 years, but also maybe a 1 year. Just a prove it deal. He struggled towards the end of 2023. He's already 30 years old. He's already on the wrong side of that number.
I've seen the Cubs were actually linked to Aaron Nola too, so that's actually surprising actually for Philadelphia.
They are, and Philadelphia,
Sorry.
I think they got to cut costs somewhere. Philly does have to cut costs somewhere, and it might be Aaron Nola, who made 11.25 this past season.
Yeah.
Julio Urias is on this list, but who knows what we're going to get out of Julio Urias if he comes back from due to the domestic violence
Probably a
suspension.
long shot
I
at this
think
point.
isn't there some guy?
Yamamoto, that's who the Cubs really want.
Isn't there some guy from like Japan or something?
Yeah, Yamamoto.
Yoshinobu
Yep.
Yamamoto, yeah.
There's another guy
Yes.
from
He's a guy,
And there's
man.
another guy from like South Korea.
Yes, he played in the World Baseball Classic. I forgot his name.
Yeah, like
Man. Jung Ho Lee, I think.
Jung Ho Lee.
Yeah, Jung Ho Lee is another guy who's an outfielder. Those two guys are going to be good.
Yeah, but the Cubs don't need no outfield. I'd say Yamamoto is a really big guy that they need. Because if you get Yamamoto, there's a good chance you can get Ohtani. Because you
25
already
years
have
old.
Suzuki.
25 years old, pitcher for the Oryx Buffaloes in Japan. And this he's a dog.
Yeah, so
He's a dog.
imagine you get him and then Ohtani looks, there's something brewing in Chicago.
This past
Yeah.
year,
Yeah, I mean-
16-6 win-loss record, a 148 ERA, over 164 innings, only allowed 2 home runs all year, 169 strikeouts, which wasn't even his highest mark. His highest mark being 206 back in 2021. His WHIP was .884, 9.3 Ks per 9, 6 strikeouts per walk. Oh my goodness.
That's tough.
If you get Yamamoto, that changes the game for the Cubs. Period.
Correct.
Because Bellinger is going to look at that like, okay, there's a real World Series contender here for years, and I can get paid. So, and other than the Yankees, Yankees right now are in a world of hurt right now,
I think Trout's gonna go
meaning
to the
injuries as well.
I think Trout's gonna go to the Yankees.
And there's a possibility.
Trout?
I
Yeah.
think Mike Trout's gonna go to the Yankees.
Angels don't deserve him.
They don't
He
deserve
is
him. He's
so-
gonna.
he's
Ohtani's leaving
locked
too.
Nor
up
Ohtani.
forever,
Angels don't
though.
deserve. They wasting talent over there.
I think Ohtani's gonna go to either the Mets or the Padres.
Now,
Then-
why those teams?
It's hard. I don't know how.
Padres is not.
I literally have not been able to explain this to anybody.
Padres is kind of
Hey, but
wild,
he
though.
been
'cause
hitting.
they're trying to
They-
get rid of Juan Soto, too.
Yeah, they're trying
They
to
were
get rid of
close.
him, and then if they add Ohtani, it's even.
That's tough.
Well,
That's
the
tough.
problem with the Padres is that they can't really do much.
They can't sign a lot of
monetary
people.
wise.
They can't sign him?
That's the whole reason
they
why
not
they're
have
trying
money?
to get rid of Soto right
Yep.
now. It's
Yep.
not because they don't want him anymore.
Right.
They can't afford him.
Okay, then
He's
many
got
big
1 year left. He's on an
contracts.
expiring
So
contract, and
are
it's
the
big.
Mets are the Mets a bad team to pick then in that situation? 'Cause
No,
they have,
yeah,
they have
but
money.
they got all the
rebuild
money in the
mode.
world.
They can sign him as like the highest grossing player right now.
That's true.
I think. So
But you talking about Trout?
Where does he
yeah,
fit?
I'm
though?
talking about Ohtani.
Ohtani.
Ohtani to the Mets.
it's that's tough because
I think Trout's going to the Yankees, 100%.
Are
that's
there
tough.
trade rumors with Trout right now, or
No,
Well,
I just think- I just don't
at the
think he's gonna
beginning,
stay
at
on
the
that
end of
team.
the
There's no
season,
need to.
Thielen.
at the end of the season, they said they would look into offers.
they would
They
look
didn't say he
into it.
was not untouchable anymore.
Okay.
They said all the players they have are just like
They're
They're
not
gonna
untouchable
look.
anymore.
so.
They're gonna
There's
look,
no
yeah.
no like confirmed rumors about like
No.
him getting traded.
No.
But I think if he does get traded, he's going to the Yankees.
it's going to be Philadelphia?
Okay,
It's going to
that's
be
a good one
Philadelphia.
too. But you guys just said that they got
He's
got
from South Jersey.
Correct.
Grew up a Philadelphia Phillies fan. This team, they got to find a way to get over the hump. They've been to the last 2 years. They were in the World Series, and they lost in Game 7 against the buzzsaw that was the Arizona Diamondbacks. So they should have made the World Series last year.
To be honest,
If
yeah,
there
their
wasn't a
this is their
walk-off in
window.
Game
Yeah.
3, they sweep that series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
this is their window for
if
sure.
there's one thing that they want to do, because Dave Dombrowski loves to spend, and what else does he love to do? Trade his best prospects. We've seen it time and time again with Detroit and Boston, and now we're seeing it with the Phillies. If he's going to do anything, it's going to be that.
Yeah.
And then maybe you cut costs somewhere. Maybe you send someone back as a salary dump, like, sorry, Nick Castellanos, we're banishing you to Anaheim. But if he's going to go anywhere, it's the Phillies. Let's address that right now.
You don't think he's going? You're talking about Mike Trout, right?
Yes.
You don't think he would fit like perfect on the Yankees?
I don't. They got too
I think
much.
if it's best,
They
in
can get
Philadelphia.
rid of that. Though.
They-
If you're
they-
trading,
I
you
mean,
can get rid of those players.
Giancarlo Stanton ain't going nowhere.
Giancarlo- no one's gonna want
not
Stanton.
Him, not him. Not
Judge ain't
Judge
going
is
nowhere.
untouchable.
And
Wait,
Jason
Who'd you
Dominguez is
say
going
that?
to be.
That's some heavy
No one
hitting.
wants-
That's
No
some
one
heavy
wants
hitting right
Stanton.
there.
He will.
He's old,
he can
he's
get
injury
traded.
prone, and he cannot run. He's 33, 34,
He can
and
hit,
he
though.
can't run.
He can hit though.
He can hit,
He can really hit.
but if he can't get around the bases fast enough, dude, it doesn't matter how
His
you
value
hit.
is going to be down.
His home run numbers are going to start dropping as well.
He could be
soon.
like
And I don't know
Kyle
if
Schwarber.
I don't know
Could
if
be
y'all
like Kyle
really.
Schwarber, yeah.
I don't know if y'all
Schwarber
really
ain't
follow
around.
baseball like that, but they have a kid that is named Jason Dominguez, and he's like 20 years old,
Jason
and
Dominguez
he
is a
hit like
beast.
8 homers in like 10, 12, 13 at bats.
He's
this
a beast.
season?
That's tough.
He had to
So
have,
he ain't going nowhere.
He had to have elbow surgery. It was either elbow or shoulder
It was
surgery
I think
this
it was
past
shoulder.
offseason,
Yeah.
which really stinks for the Yankees because
Mhm.
he's going to be promising, but he's going to be missing a lot of this coming season. He probably won't be back till like mid to late August. So then the problem with that is where do you fit him if you bring in Trout? I mean, you'd automatically assume Stanton at DH, but then where does the rest of the offense go? Like you gotta find room for everyone on this team somehow.
It's gonna be tough because they're really looking at Bellinger too. So if you sign Bellinger, there is no Trout to the Yankees.
I don't think they'll sign him.
I don't think they'll sign him
If
either,
they have
but-
opportunity to get Trout, they'll 100% take that.
They're really linked in right now on Juan
Which
Soto
they
the
should,
most.
yeah.
They're looked on. They're keen on Juan Soto the most of anything.
I don't
so
think they should get him either.
They only have
that's who they really keen
out
in
of
on.
all
right
their
now.
free agents this season, only 3 of them are position players. One of them is IKF. The other one is Franchi Cordero, who was mostly in the minor leagues this year, and then Billy McKinney, who was also mostly in the minor leagues this year. There's not a lot of roster space to bring in a guy like Trout. Especially,
yeah.
they're already committed to Harrison Bader. Bader's staying there long term. They like what they have in Oswaldo Cabrera, despite some of the offensive struggles this year. His glove is amazing. He can play every single position on the field, outside of pitching. And as soon as that bat comes around, he's 25. The bat will come around. Plus, the Yankees. I mean, they're a very old team. Outside of Cabrera, Gleyber Torres, who's somehow miraculously still 26 years old,
That's
What?
why.
and
I thought he
Anthony
was like
Volpe.
He was up here at
Other
like
than
23,
and then
22.
Oswald Peraza the same way, he's 23. But like,
Oh my gosh.
other than those
Yeah.
guys, like they are an old team. Jason Dominguez is 20. Esteban Florial probably will not see much playing time next year again. He's 25. But like,
How much you want to bet the Brewers get one of those?
The team is old.
One veteran.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
That's
3
tough
veterans.
because Trout is looking to win, and if he does get traded, he got to look at that Yankees roster right now, and they're not going to win no time soon, in my opinion.
They're old.
I
Then
think
where would he
it's
go then?
time for the Yankees to move on from Trout. I mean, the Angels. Sorry.
Trouty, could fit, like I said, he could fit with
Yeah.
Philly. Like
I
he
just
said, he
think-
could fit with
I just
Philly.
like-
But what are they going to give up for
Mike
him,
Trout's
though?
been there for like
Everything.
what, 12 years, right? 10.
What is Philly going to
yeah.
give up for Mike
Yeah, and then
Trout?
like he,
No
like,
need
he
to
had-
give up anything.
he's like I mean, like Mike Trout's like a fourth-time MVP, and he still doesn't want a playoff series.
Well, in baseball, you really can't pin playoff failures on just one guy. Unless it's like a specific
doing the
play you
NFL.
remember.
Only can control so
Well,
much.
Yeah.
Well, the NFL, that's just one game, though.
Unless it's like a specific guy, like or a specific play, like the Trent Grisham play, which I firmly believe that was not his fault.
That wasn't.
That error in the 2019 wild
Yeah,
card
I'm
game.
talking about,
But look at Philly's team. I'm going to get into Reese Hoskins here in a second, too, because I think I already know where he's going. They're already losing a lot of salary in Hoskins, Nola, Kimbrel, Michael Lorenzen.
How much do they lose?
Right there, that's $41 million
Jeez.
already off the books.
Mike Trout
As long as
actually
you don't
would
bring
fit
back
with the
any of those
Phillies.
guys. Mike Trout is making probably about $30 million-ish because a lot of that contract was deferred.
Yeah.
So he's not making a lot of money in terms of how much he did get paid. It's around the ballpark of $30 million. So those four guys all leave. Plus Scott Kingery adds an extra $4 million. So let's say $45 million. You still have an extra $15 million to play with to stay at last year's budget. It makes sense. And then from there, you can let's go to Philadelphia Phillies. Who else would the Angels possibly want over here that's a salary dump? Maybe a Kyle Schwarber
Klaus Schwarber.
or a
yeah,
Nick
for sure.
Castellanos or even a Brandon Marsh. Bring back Brandon Marsh. He was originally an Angels prospect.
Or,
But we just said before, Kyle Schwarber can't
Bryson
even run.
Stott?
He can't run either.
Bryson Stott, though, I wouldn't say Bryson Stott. He'd have to be the main piece of that. And the problem with that, too, is that your best available infield option off the bench is Edmundo Sosa, who had a career year batting .251. So Bryson Stott, I would say, is off the table in any of those negotiations. 25 years old. You have a lot of team control on him. Mike Trout's on the wrong side of like 30. He's 32 years old. This contract, he's going to be with the Phillies until he's like 40. Not a good look if you trade Bryson Stott. And I don't think that
Yeah,
helps him win right now. It's
Yeah,
the guys that are older, like Castellanos and Schwarber, who are on soon to be expiring deals. I think if you're going to trade any one star off of this team to make a move for Mike Trout, it's JT Realmuto. And then you slide in someone, just stopgap guys until you find your franchise starting catcher again. If you're going to do that Trout move. Let's talk more about Ohtani here. Let's get off of Trout.
Yeah.
Let's go pure free agency here. Shohei Ohtani, we already have Nazir saying either Padres or Mets.
I can't sit with the Mets, though. They're not contending.
Yeah, I know. I
If they
think
get
I
him,
would
they will
love
be
to see it.
contending.
No, they have a lot more
Anybody
than
that
just
gets
pitching
him
that they
would
need.
be
And
contending.
Alonso is going to be a free agent next year, and he's not coming back to New York. They're talking about trading him to the Cubs.
Who?
Oh, that'd be weird.
Alonso. He's been in a lot of rumors
And the
with
Brewers, too.
Yeah.
No,
They're
I
talking
just-
about him to the Brewers.
Yeah,
That would clear the space, though. That would clear the salary
Bring him.
space.
That's true.
I would love to. I would love to see Alonso in a
Amazing.
Brewers uniform.
No.
That would actually that would make
No,
that would make the
Alonso in a
series
Cubs
competitive.
uniform.
Facts.
I would say the Padres need to go through Ohtani, but the one team I don't want Ohtani to go to is the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's what everybody is
It's
saying.
the Dodgers.
And that's
for
what
sure.
everyone's assuming, but let's go to Adam here.
Does
Adam,
he
you haven't
fit?
really said much here. Ohtani sweepstakes. Thoughts?
You know, whoever gets him, he's a double-edged sword. He's like a unicorn. I don't know.
The only problem is that this coming season,
Right.
he might not be getting what he fully deserves money-wise because this coming season he will not be pitching. It's just hitting.
Oh, okay. What did he get before that? Was it a 12? Or
He was,
Is
I
it a
want to say,
3-4
for what?
contract.
Something like that, yeah.
okay. Yeah.
They gave him a contract just so they wouldn't have to worry about arbitration with him.
Yeah.
And that was a very smart move because arbitration-wise, he probably would have gotten paid like $25 million last year.
He's projected a 12-year, a 520.
Yeah, biggest contract in MLB history.
That would be crazy.
Ties length with Mike
Um,
Trout and Mookie Betts, and it would be the most, like, annually and the most overall.
Yeah, it'd be a lot. Like
There's
you said,
not many
with the
teams that could pay
Dodgers and
that, yeah.
Mets. Yeah, I don't know.
Yankees,
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a
Cubs.
even with the Cubs though, that's a stretch.
Yeah,
'Cause
they're-
you might as well just go out to Yamamoto.
They're
'cause we
searching
just
for
need
the
a
change
pitcher.
in the couch. That's for sure.
All we need is all we really need is his pitching side. I mean, his bat would be great, but if you get Alonso and Bellinger, you already can fill those two holes.
Yeah, that's true.
Keys, what are your thoughts on Otani here?
Oh no, that's a that's a bad man right there. I don't think he elevates any team that he goes to. So I'm kind of bummed out that he's not going to be pitching because.
Throws 100. So.
I mean, that elbow is messed
But
up.
yeah,
man.
yeah, for the right reason,
Yeah.
protect him because he is a franchise player. So,
Exactly.
but yeah.
I have a theory.
What's the theory?
As of a day ago, Sports Illustrated said Texas Rangers are favored to sign Otani.
Are you serious?
No way.
Yeah.
The Rangers?
No way.
The
Hey, man, you
Rangers.
know,
The Rangers get
You
him.
can't beat him.
Yeah.
Join
That's
him.
dynasty.
Yeah, like
That's
I heard-
dynasty.
Yeah, if the Texas
Yeah,
Rangers,
I
but
heard-
I don't think really a team in the league because
No,
really
picking
like
up
I
KD.
heard, look, I think
That's,
the,
I was.
I heard that
it was
the
in my
Mariners
head. I
might-
wanted
That's
to say
literally
it.
picking up KD. That's
Literally,
like
if you
picking up
can't-
KD in the word.
Can't beat him.
I mean, he already got DeGrom and he didn't
Ryan?
even throw.
Hey,
Ryan, I want you to
That's cheating.
repeat what you just said to me.
that's cheating.
I think I saw that the Mariners might make a run at Otani.
That'll be a
Bingo.
fit. That could be a really good fit.
And I don't think it's just going to be a run at Otani. I think it is they will sign Shohei Otani.
That is the
You
most
cannot
perfect fit.
forget. You cannot
Yeah,
forget
right.
the impact that Ichiro Suzuki had on baseball worldwide. When skipping out and going to a major market team and going to the team closest to Japan, closest to home for him was the Seattle Mariners. Won an MVP, Rookie of the Year, and helped them break the all-time wins mark for a single season with 116. Career Mariner, 2,000 plus hits there, led the league in hits multiple time All-Star. Then he goes to the biggest market in the Yankees, and then he goes, has a year or two with the Marlins, and let's forget that. But he did have 3,000. He didn't get his 3,000th hit there, and his 4,263rd for most hits all time ever. But his was between two leagues. Technically beat Pete Rose, but you can't forget Seattle. There's a large Asian American cultural influence in Seattle. A, B. Ichiro Suzuki put Seattle on the map for Japanese baseball.
But they're not winning though, are they?
And
Oh, they right there.
They were right there.
They were
made
right
the
there.
playoffs for the
I didn't
first
even
time.
see 'em, yeah.
They made the playoffs for the first time since 2001 last year, so 21 years.
This year though.
This
What
year they
happened
missed
this
by
year?
a game.
They
They're
lost the
88 and
game. The
74.
game that all they had to do was win, and they would have been in.
They,
just
they-
lost.
if they won,
They lost.
They would have replaced. I want to say who would they have replaced? Who was the 6? Because Tampa Bay, Texas was 4-5.
It was Toronto.
Toronto wouldn't have
yeah.
been
They
in.
would have replaced Toronto, who they beat in the playoffs
Okay.
last year.
No, I see what you guys are saying. I mean, that would. Okay, yeah.
And
He would
they
fit so
don't-
well.
That would be.
man.
That'd be
They
really
don't
good.
have. I mean, they got money in Seattle. Seattle's a larger market than people make it out to be. Teoscar Hernandez is not coming back. That opens up $14 million right there. But can you imagine a lineup of, let's just go defensive alignment here: Cal Raleigh, Ty France, second base. You're gonna have to find someone else because it's not. I think it's Josh Rojas right now, who actually wasn't that bad with them. He wasn't that bad.
Happened to Adam Frazier.
J.P. Crawford at shorts. Adam Frazier went to Baltimore.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm slow.
Eugenio Suarez at third. In the outfield is Kelenic, Julio, insert right fielder here, and you have Shohei Otani on the bump. That team last year with Teoscar Hernandez was 88 and 74. The year before they were 91 and 71, made the playoffs, and they barely made any changes. The only thing they did was trade Eric Swanson for Teoscar Hernandez. You had Shohei Otani, a 10-plus WAR player,
Man,
to that roster. They're done. Like, the league is done.
What about the man? I'm
league
I'm
is
sticking
done.
with the Padres, man. Even though they don't have the money, they could restructure.
They'll
some
find
stuff.
a way.
Exactly, they can
They can-
restructure
Adrian
some
Preller can
contracts,
find
They
a way.
say that they would have to probably grab a loan of some millions to get that.
So
which
let's
they
now,
can easily pay back.
We
That's
only
what I'm
got
saying.
we only got 5 minutes of this segment left. We got some of the big elephants out of the way. If there was 1 to 2, let's 1 to 3, and just short justification for each for your favorite team. So like I was gonna go for Brewers. You're gonna go Phillies. You two Cubs. Your favorite team. 1 to 3 guys. Short justification for each. Name me who you would most want your team to go after in free agency this year. We'll start with the Keys.
To spice things up, let's go get Cody.
Cody Bellinger to the
Yeah.
Brewers.
Let's do it.
Ooh, that would be something.
Let's do
That's
it.
bad.
Pairing
Long
up
shot.
the two main
It
MVP
ain't
candidates
happening,
from
bro.
just a few years ago. They both had resurgences last year. Bellinger was better. Bellinger was better than Yelich in terms of his comeback season. He won Comeback Player of the Year. I think he earned his way into a big contract. The problem is, where do you fit him? Because there's a lot of young outfielders on our team. You'd have to maybe, I kind of see where you're going with this, because maybe if you bring in Bellinger, you package up two of those guys and get a big name starting pitcher
Ooh,
or a big
okay.
name infielder.
Yeah, that's a good.
I like that.
I
And
do
then
like that.
and then after that,
Are we good
Yelich is
money-wise?
full-time DH. I would think so.
Yeah,
You'd have to maybe make a salary dump. And I think part of that is maybe moving Corbin Burns.
they're not gonna move Corbin Burns.
They will move Corbin Burns.
think they're gonna move
He's
Corbin
done
Burns?
with this team.
Please.
Oh
He's
yeah,
done with
he's
this
ready to
team.
go. He's ready. He got a
He's
foot
in a
out the
contract
door.
year. This is the
We good with
final year
Freddie.
of his deal. He's arbitration eligible for one more year, so you don't have to pay him every penny of what he should be getting,
Come on,
which
Trevor
is
Wrigley.
like 25 to 30 million a year. You're going to pay him like 13, 14 this season.
Sounds like he's a Cub.
Pretty much. Pretty much. That's what I'm saying.
Sounds like
Corbin for
it.
PCA straight up, I'm not saying no to that. Just straight up, 1 for 1.
Sounds like he's a Cub.
I'm not
then,
saying
man.
no.
I'm not gonna lie.
If we sign Cody Bellinger, you can make that deal.
Oh,
This
we
year,
would make
your-
that deal.
Your Phillies, free agency, so not Trout. Trout's a trade.
Uh,
Free agency, 1 to 3 guys that you'd want us to go after, or you want the Phillies to go after.
See, I'm a Brewers fan too, but
Give 1 and 1 then. Give 1 and 1.
I'll,
One Philly, one
I'll
Brewer.
go Philly. I'll go Philly right now.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, would Blake Snell be a good signing for them?
That would be a terrific signing.
think that-
Yeah,
that'd be a
because
really
they allowed
good
to
sign.
give them a left-handed starter.
Exactly. That's what they need.
Exactly.
They all
Padres?
have righties.
Tough.
Well,
I
they got
think
Ranger
Blake Snell-
Suarez, but
I think Blake Snell would be like a perfect fit for them. Like that's not too big, not too crazy, but it's like a perfect thing for them already. What they already need.
I was thinking more of a Jordan Montgomery.
See, I think that's where the Brewers are gonna go. I think Brewers are gonna get Montgomery.
Montgomery would not be a bad pickup.
Yeah, that's
Just
what
for
I'm
a
saying.
back end of the rotation guy,
For a
which is something
rotational
we
guy,
desperately
yes.
need. A back end guy.
Yes.
Jordan Montgomery would be terrific.
I think Montgomery would be like he's not too old yet. He's 30,
Mm-hmm.
and the Brewers like to pick up older guys anyways. So I mean, he's 30, he's right in between,
Mm-hmm.
and he'd be a good rotational guy. Like I was gonna say before, yeah. I think that's perfect for them. I don't think he'd fit well with the Phillies for some reason. Like I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't really see him like doing that well
So Blake Snell, anyone else?
for the Phillies.
Yeah. Or the Brewers, if you wanted one other Brewer. I mean, we kind of mentioned Jordan Montgomery, but
Maybe Sonny Gray. Maybe.
Sonny Gray would be a pretty good pickup.
Maybe yeah.
He might be a little pricey this year,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
but I wouldn't be opposed.
Either him or Josh Hader or I don't know.
Josh Hader.
Yeah.
Oh,
That'd be
I would love to bring him back.
He,
Yeah.
he won't.
He's going to go to Texas.
He's gonna go to
That's what
Texas.
everyone's assuming.
He's gonna go to
It's because
Texas.
he's from Wyoming. He's probably going to go to Texas.
Yeah, but
or he
that-
loves
that'd be a
hunting
good
in
one.
Wyoming at least.
Yeah. That'd
Adam.
be a good one.
Well, I got my Boston shirt on from when I went out there and watched. So
Yeah,
I actually had Montgomery going to Boston.
I like that still too. I still like that.
They could use some help in that department. So
Two
I like
bona
it.
fide lefties, Sale and
Yep.
Montgomery. That'd be pretty good.
They're not.
And they're not
losing,
bad.
They're also losing James Paxton and Corey Kluber to free agency. So there is a need for starting pitching.
yeah.
Yeah. Could see it.
So, just Jordan Montgomery. Anyone else? I mean, I could see them bringing back Justin Turner on another 1 year. Maybe not for
I think
17
he's
million.
gone. I think
yeah,
he's gone.
yeah,
Well, he declined just to see if he can get more money elsewhere, but he's not going to get more money. He
I
had a
That'd be
great
tough,
season
though.
with Boston.
think he'll be gone. Yeah,
He's a lock at third there. So
Yeah.
they got rid of Babe Ruth, so who knows what the Red Sox will do.
Ryan, your Cubbies. Give me a name 2 or 3.
The rookie from Japan.
Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aaron Nola, or I'm not sure he's a free agent, but I would love to see the Cubs go after Matt Chapman.
He is a free agent.
I
Yeah,
don't like
Matt-
that.
Matt Chapman.
I don't like that.
Why? Because
Christopher Morel. You're just position blocking Morel.
I mean, you block.
Well,
I mean, and Nick
Morel can play the
Madrigal
outfield
played.
too, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
I'm-
Nick Madrigal was our third baseman, and
But-
he's the contact machine.
But he doesn't hit home runs.
We don't need the long ball. We play good in the small ball when we score and get people on base
You'd
with
play
traffic.
better. You play better
Now that you
long
got
ball,
Craig
though.
Counsell too as your manager.
Exactly.
which
You
I
have to
just
play
threw
the
up in my
small
mouth a little
ball.
bit
You
saying
don't
that
need the
again.
long one. Look at what happened to Philly.
But if you implement the long ball, though, that would be like
You'll get a bat that's
beneficial.
going to go long ball. You
For sure.
have a long ball bat. You got
Matt
Suzuki that can hit it long, and
in-
Morel.
In Ryan's defense, Matt Chapman isn't really like the biggest power hitter on planet Earth either.
Right.
He's not a power hitter at all.
So he's
He
gonna get
can
you
be.
15 to 20 every single
Yeah,
year.
I would
he
say-
He can
but-
be.
He's gonna cost
he
a
has
lot
30
when you
a year
already-
But if he
potential.
doesn't need to, he won't. You know. So
The only deal I think I'd better see with that is that he's gonna cost a lot, and you got some guys that's cheaper that can play the position as good as he can.
I would say maybe like just go out there and get like pitching.
Yeah,
I would like to see the Cubs. If there's one guy, before we get to Jalen here, if there's one guy I'd like to see the Cubs go after, because there is kind of a need at first base, at least for a stopgap, Joey Votto. Just on a 1 year.
It's not bad.
Put him in a
He ain't gonna
ballpark
cost much.
No.
where
cost much,
he's not.
yeah.
He's going to cost you around like 8 to 12 million for 1 year.
He wouldn't have to play every day
He
either.
wouldn't have to play every day, and he's playing in a hitter-friendly ballpark. He's going to hit
Hey.
tanks.
You never
And
know.
then if he starts tearing the cover off the ball, give him more playing time. Maybe that's what propels you to the playoffs. But Jalen, give me a couple names for your Cubs.
Let's say 3. Yamamoto, obviously re-signed Bellinger, and I wouldn't mind looking at a Josh Hader or a Sonny Gray with a slash in between.
If you can afford Josh Hader, definitely go for that. No, speaking from experience, one of if not the best closer in all of baseball still.
But I like-
should have been
I'm
traded at the
leaning-
deadline. The Padres messed up not trading him.
Who?
Josh Hader.
Yeah, I agree.
Should have been traded at the
Should have been
deadline.
traded, for sure.
Juan Soto probably should have been too because his value was up there
That
too.
could have cleared a lot of money for
It
the
could have cleared a lot of money
Yeah,
for
a lot of
Ohtani.
Sonny Gray's
Telling
pretty.
you.
I like Sonny Gray, Snell, and Bellinger because Gray has pitched in Wrigley a while when he was with the Reds. He knows the ballpark.
I'm gonna
So,
give 3 for the Brewers here. Number 1 is Jock Peterson. I would really love Jock Peterson
bad.
I don't know
strictly
much
for
about
his bat.
I don't know
not
much
bad,
about
yeah.
it.
Strictly for his bat.
That's not bad.
He played with the Giants last year. He was fairly well again. I think it was the second year of his with the Giants. Let's pull up his page really quick. Yeah, his second season with the Giants. He was an all-star there last year at 23 homers. This year, a little bit of a down year, 235, but still had a above league average OPS. Longtime Dodger, was part of that World Series team, was also part of the Atlanta World Series team, and tore the cover off of the ball for them, especially in the playoffs. Even just on a 1 year, I'd love Jock Peterson.
Do you think the
a
Brewers
good
need
one.
I think the Brewers need like a third baseman because we were like horrible on third base, like in the playoffs.
Yes,
for some
but
reason.
no.
No.
Yes, but no. Simply, if you're going to get anyone at third, it's got to be a stopgap because Brock Wilkins coming, and
Yeah.
Brock Wilkins is very, very good at hitting the ball.
You could pick up.
Do
Matt
y'all
Chapman.
re-sign Santana?
I don't think so.
No.
I think they go after Reese Hoskins
Yep, exactly.
That's
because
not
their
bad.
faith is
Okay.
still in Rowdy Tellez.
Honestly,
I see that.
That's perfect.
I can rock with that.
You're absolutely
with
correct.
that.
Their
Absolutely
faith is
correct.
still in Rowdy Tellez, but they need that right-handed power bat.
Yep.
I can rock with
Especially to just destroy a lefty pitcher. They
Because
need
Reese
that
Hoskins
guy.
I
has
just
done
think
it
for
first.
you, like Tellez, like he's old, like I just think like for Tellez, he's old, like he can't like run as much.
Mhm.
Like
It's not that he's old. He's just stinking butt right now. He's just a stinky butt player.
Reese Hoskins fits. He's
he's young.
Reese Hoskins, I would love
yeah,
Reese
because
Hoskins.
he's never playing in Philly
Throw
again.
everything,
player.
everything
Good
in
player,
the
he's
tiny
young.
wall that we have at Reese Hoskins. Then lastly, I think Aaron Nola doesn't get the big contract that he's going to earn
Oh, yeah.
next offseason. I think he gets a 1 year deal with Milwaukee as a stopgap before guys like Jacob Mizorowski and Carlos Rodriguez get called up, just so that they have more time to develop. I think we throw the bag at Aaron Nola, like 1 year, 18, 19 million, as like a, hey, we made the playoffs 5 of the last 6 seasons. We got a brand new manager. We need starting pitching. Let's bring you in for 1 year. Final thoughts here. Jalen, we'll start with you.
I'm ready for spring training. Extend Bellinger, and I hope Council wins Manager of the Year because he is a finalist. So Cubs.
Gonna win.
I think he will win.
Yeah.
Ryan,
yeah, same. Excited for spring training. Like get as much pitches as you need. Resign Bellinger, and excited to see Council. What he can do in Chicago.
I'm ready for January when I see him in January.
I'm excited for the Chargers game tonight.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jets, Chargers.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
I'm a little nervous, but I got him locked this week. I think we'll be fine. I think the only issue we have is we're the 31st defense in the league, which is
That's tough.
horrible. But we're 9th best offense. So
Hey,
hey,
Can't go
take
wrong
what
with
we
that.
got.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Keys, final thoughts today.
Ohtani, come Come help us out.
1
We
year,
need you.
please.
right.
That's all I
Yeah,
want.
yeah,
One
right.
year with Otani.
That'd be a
Come
weird
on.
one right there.
That's all I want.
That'd be crazy.
My final thoughts, of course, Monday Night Football.
Tanya Yelich.
Jets Chargers. Chargers are 3-point favorites. I'll take that.
Take it.
Jets -3. Jets Chargers over under 39.5. Simply because the under has hit in 5 of the last. Are they playing in New York tonight?
Yeah.
5 of the last 6 Jets home games, the under has hit. Give me the under.
I believe they're playing.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me check
The
again.
Chargers.
They are.
They are.
Chargers are favored by field goal.
Yep. So I'm taking them with the spread. I'm taking the under 39.5, and then lastly money line. Give me the Chargers.
Yep.
It's just too easy. But
Go Keenan.
once again, thanks for tuning in to Hawk Talk here on 91.7 The Edge, WSCW Whitewater. This has been the Monday Show. From Sam, Jalen, Ryan, Adam, Nazir, and Keys, you just listened to the best dang sports show around. We're going to get back to the alternative music, though, here on The Edge.